Halloween had always been my favorite holiday. The thrill of dressing up and the promise of sweet candy had made it an annual delight. But one Halloween, my childhood enthusiasm would give way to a bone-chilling encounter that forever changed the way I saw the holiday. In our neighborhood, there was an old Victorian mansion that had sat abandoned for as long as anyone could remember. It was a sprawling, eerie structure, its windows boarded up, and its grounds overgrown with gnarled trees and tangled vines. Its unsettling reputation as the Halloween house had made it the stuff of local legend. As a daredevil teenager, I decided to investigate the place on Halloween night. Armed with a flashlight and accompanied by a group of equally fearless friends, we ventured to the sinister mansion, our hearts pounding with anticipation. The moon cast an eerie glow on the house as we approached, our footsteps echoing in the silence. The air grew colder, and the wind whispered secrets through the skeletal branches of the trees. We reached the mansion's imposing front door, which stood ajar, as if beckoning us inside. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, we crossed the threshold into the darkness. Our flashlights cut through the inky blackness, revealing dust-covered furniture and cobweb-laden chandeliers. We explored room after room, fueled by teenage bravado. As we ascended a grand spiral staircase, a chilling feeling washed over me, like invisible eyes were watching. We reached the second floor, where a long hallway stretched before us, doors lining both sides. The air grew thick with unease. We chose a door at random and entered a dimly lit room. The atmosphere was heavy, and the air was filled with the scent of decay. In the center of the room stood an old vanity mirror, its glass tarnished with age. My friends dared me to look into it. As I gazed into the mirror, a feeling of dread gripped me. My reflection seemed to distort and twist, its face contorting into a sinister grin. Panic set in, and I stumbled backward, my friends equally horrified. Then, as if in response to our fear, the room plunged into darkness. We fumbled for our flashlights, and when the beams cut through the blackness, the room was empty. The mirror, however, remained, a foreboding portal to an unknown world. Terrified, we rushed out of the room and fled the mansion, our hearts pounding with a primal fear. The moment we crossed the threshold, the front door slammed shut with a resounding finality, sealing the horrors we had witnessed inside. We never spoke of that night again, and our group of friends drifted apart. Halloween lost its innocent charm, forever tainted by the malevolent presence of the Victorian mansion. To this day, I can't explain the true horror we encountered in that haunted house, but I know that some mysteries are best left unsolved, hidden within the walls of the Halloween house that continues to haunt my nightmares. Every year, Halloween was a big deal in our neighborhood. Kids and parents went all out with decorations, turning the quiet streets into a spooktacular wonderland. But one house in particular stood out, a grand Victorian mansion at the end of the block that had always been shrouded in mystery. The house had a chilling reputation. Locals whispered about strange occurrences within its walls. Tales of flickering lights, ghostly apparitions, and eerie sounds had swirled around for decades. Most dismissed them as Halloween exaggerations, but I was about to discover that some stories are born from unsettling truths. As Halloween approached, I couldn't resist the allure of the mysterious mansion. On the night of October 31st, I ventured alone, my flashlight cutting through the inky darkness. The wind howled, and the trees rustled ominously. The house loomed ahead, its Gothic architecture casting eerie shadows. I ascended the creaky steps, my heart pounding louder than the gusting wind. An antique door knocker in the shape of a gargoyle greeted me, and with trembling hands, I gave it 3 hard knocks. To my surprise, the door slowly creaked open, revealing an empty foyer bathed in a cold, bluish light. Unease washed over me, but curiosity pushed me forward. The air was frigid, and my breath hung in the air like a spectral mist. As I ventured deeper into the house, I heard faint whispers, as if echoing from the distant past. The portraits on the walls seemed to watch my every move, their eyes following me with a malevolent gaze. In the grandiose dining room, a long-abandoned banquet was frozen in time. Cobwebs adorned the elegant chandeliers, and the table was set with rotting food, as though the guests had vanished into thin air. A sense of dread intensified as I climbed the ornate staircase. The second floor was a labyrinth of long, dark corridors. I reached a door that was slightly ajar, and a soft, mournful melody played from within. My heart raced as I pushed it open. The room was dimly lit by candles that flickered with an otherworldly flame. At the center of the room stood an antique mirror, its surface tarnished with age. My reflection revealed itself, but something was off. My eyes were empty, soulless voids. Before I could react, the room trembled, and a ghastly figure emerged from the mirror. It was a specter, clad in tattered Victorian attire, its hollow eyes locked onto mine. It reached out, and a bone-chilling voice whispered, "You shouldn't have come." In a panic, I fled the room, down the winding staircase, and out of the mansion. The moment I crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind me with a deafening finality. I never returned to that house, and I never shared my harrowing Halloween encounter with anyone. Some horrors are best left unspoken, hidden in the shadows of a mysterious mansion that continues to haunt my nightmares to this day. Halloween had always been a cherished tradition in our neighborhood. Each year, the houses transformed into haunted mansions, and families gathered for festive gatherings. But one Halloween night, a sinister event would cast a long, dark shadow over the holiday. I was 12 years old, and my friends and I had devised a plan to make this Halloween unforgettable. We decided to embark on a midnight trick-or-treat adventure, a daring escapade that would take us to the eerie abandoned house at the edge of the neighborhood. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an otherworldly glow on the streets as we set out. Armed with pillowcases for candy and flashlights for guidance, our group of 4 ventured into the chilly night, excitement overriding any apprehension. The old abandoned house was known to all as the Haunted Hollow. It had been vacant for as long as I could remember, its windows shattered, and its yard overgrown with thorns and weeds. Legend had it that strange occurrences took place within its crumbling walls, but as curious children, we brushed off the stories as mere tales. We arrived at the haunted house, our flashlights cutting through the pitch-black night. The air was heavy with anticipation as we approached the front porch. With hesitant steps, I reached for the doorknob, my friends egging me on. To our astonishment, the door creaked open with an eerie groan, revealing a dark abyss within. Goosebumps prickled my arms, but curiosity spurred me forward. We entered, our flashlights sweeping across the dilapidated interior. The floorboards creaked beneath our feet as we ventured deeper into the house. Dust-covered furniture stood frozen in time, draped in tattered sheets. Cobwebs adorned the corners, and a shiver ran down my spine as we moved through the dimly lit rooms. Our Halloween adventure took a sinister turn when we reached a room shrouded in darkness. The air grew icy cold, and an unsettling sensation settled over us. My flashlight flickered, and I heard faint whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The room was adorned with antique mirrors, their surfaces cracked and tarnished. As I gazed into one, my reflection contorted and shifted, revealing the ghastly figure lurking behind me. Panic surged through my veins, and I turned to see my friends' faces etched with terror. In a rush of fear, we fled the room and the haunted house, our hearts pounding in our chests. The moment we crossed the threshold, the front door slammed shut behind us with a bone-chilling finality, sealing the horrors we had witnessed inside. We returned to our homes, our once joyful Halloween adventure transformed into a nightmarish memory. The eerie whispers, the contorted reflection, and the malevolent presence of the haunted hollow haunted our dreams. As years passed, my friends and I never spoke of that fateful Halloween night. The holiday, once filled with innocence and fun, was forever tainted by the chilling encounter in the abandoned house. Some mysteries are best left unsolved, hidden within the shadows of the haunted hollow and etched into the pages of our darkest Halloween memories.